This is Dakota Free Press, and we're speaking with Democratic candidate for Secretary of State, Alexandra Frederick. Alexandra, how are you today?
I'm super good. I'm so happy to be up here in Aberdeen. I've been trying to make it all summer and finally got a chance to make it today, so I'm really happy to be here.
Awesome. We're glad to have you. Tell us, Alexandra, why do you want to be the Secretary of State of South Dakota, our Chief Election Officer?
First of all, I want all of South Dakota represented. I don't think that we can have an accurate democracy without one person, one vote, and I want everybody to be included. I want people from West River, I want people from East River. I want us to get together and make a better government for ourselves.
Sure. Now, your experience, you live in kind of south central South Dakota, you're west of the river. Tell us your experience with voting rights out there and maybe things that you think need to change so people have access to the ballot.
Okay, well, first, we do early voting on the reservations, which we had to fight for because it's so rural, because, you know, we live so far away. Our precincts, we don't have voting centers over there. We have precincts where we go and vote, and they're, you know, like personal experience. My sister and I went to go vote her first time voting. We roll in, my dad and I can vote in one place, and she wasn't on the rolls there. We couldn't figure it out. She was actually listed in another precinct 15 miles away. So she had to go over there to vote, and which makes no sense because we lived in the same house at the time. So to clean that up, to clean up the precincts, maybe when it comes to redistricting, to make it more fair, we all need to have a say, and needs to be two-party, and just like everything, you need to have one side and you need to have another to balance it out. It can't just be weighted to one side.
Sure. Now, another voting rights issue I've heard about, some other states do this, is same-day registration. You walk in on election day. If you're not registered, you can register. You vote right there. South Dakota, we have to wait. We have to be registered to at least 15 days before the election. Do you think same-day registration would be a good idea for South Dakota?
I think it would be, just because I have people that tell me, you know, I don't know how to get registered to vote. Can I just show up and do it? And maybe it would help us out. Maybe it would help out that person. You know, November is kind of at the end of harvesting. For me, it's at a time where maybe I'm working my cows, and that day comes and I'm like, and then when I get there, am I still registered? Because there has been a lot of people that tell me they've been purged from the rolls, that they've had to re-register even though they voted in the last election. So to have that same-day registration would probably keep a better track of who we have in our state, who's voting in our state, and then how we can better serve them.
Sure. And then last question, you know, Secretary of State does have a role to encourage people to vote, to, like you say, to educate them about how to get registered. And even right now as a candidate, you want people to get up and vote. How would you make that case to young voters, old voters, people who haven't been engaged? Why should they get registered to vote?
Well, the main thing I see, and I have people ask me, is about voter security. How would I make it more secure to vote where we don't have that problem of, you know, being insecure? And I say security comes in numbers. The more you vote, the better the numbers are, the better security we have in general to make sure that we continue in this democratic process. We never know if there's if it's ever going to go away, but to make sure that we stay with our own process, with our own government, we need to vote. We need to come out in numbers. It's time for us to come together as a collective and say this is how we want things.
You heard her, voters. Get out there, cast your vote, be a part of democracy, just like Alexandra Frederick is. Alexandra Frederick, Democrat for Secretary of State, thank you for speaking with Dakota Free Press.
Thank you.